So during COVID, I had a lot of free time on my hands. To me, virtual school is basically the same as no school. And so I spent all that time writing the most bizarre stories on my newly bought laptop. So today, we are going to read a few of my stories and react to the horribleness of my writing in the third and the fourth grade. So, the first story that I wrote during COVID was called The Last Unicorn, which was basically me and my friend unawareingly writing fan fiction for the Minecraft YouTuber Offma. But I think as years to come, that became too embarrassing, and my friend deleted the document. But The Last Unicorn was a part of a bigger series called Starlight. So, this is book two in Starlight, and it was written by me and my friend, but I'm not going to reveal her name because I'm nice like that. Spell check by Google Docs, obviously, and let's scroll and let's find nothing. Because we never finished that. So let's move on to the next story. So, hate me if you want, but I was too lazy to bring my charger down to the nice gold setting, so we have this dark and boring, gloomy gray background. You're welcome. Let's just dive into the book. So, this book is called The Village Life, which is book one in my Traveling Through the Universe series. And I think this is one of the better series I wrote as a younger kid. You know why? It was me, myself, and I writing this, nobody else. Writing is a me thing. It doesn't work when you add other people to that mix. My thought process, my ideas, I'm writing them. Nobody else can display my thought process the way I can because it is so chaotic and so messy. Okay, let's look at the page length. 62 pages? Not bad. Some chapter books can be 62 pages, right? Scroll down. Four chapters. Now, you may be wondering or asking me, Alicia, what sort of book has four chapters? The type that is incomplete. I loved procrastination. I still love procrastination. It is a bad habit. Yes, I know, but I procrastinate every day. Thank you very much. That is the same reason this book was never completed. So I'll just go ahead and spoil you on the rest of the book. So the main protagonist, Rita, and her younger brother basically find out at the end of the book that they are half aliens because their father is an alien and their mother is a human being. And basically, they find out that these aliens are turning these well established cities into these poor places and they're stealing the wealth for themselves, which is sort of dumb now that I'm saying it out loud, the thought process, but like, I was young. Deal with it. Let's get into the book. Chapter 1. The Big Storm. Terrified already. The lightning trashed through the soil like it was nothing, flakes of dirt flying up in the air, mixing in with the bright white stars above. Near this dangerous brewing storm lived a little girl who had quite a huge adventure. Everyone knows about this story. At least they did a few years ago. The truth is, the story of the little girl and her brothers died out in a few years, but I'm still around to tell you it. Oh, wow, that's the worst introduction I've ever read. Like, it sounds like maybe that narrator at the beginning of a movie.
This is the story of how I died. Don't worry, this is actually a very fun story.
But it does not sound like a book. I don't know. It's not sitting with me right. Let's just scroll. Ah! Shouted Rita Branda. She was a 12-year-old girl, black hair running down her head to her waist. Oh yeah, okay. I was obsessed with long hair. Very long hair. I was obsessed with that hair length. I really wanted to be Rapunzel, so I get why I made Rita have that long hair. But now I understand it's like a little bit of an inconvenience, like as somebody who has long-ish hair. Like I don't want to deal with that every day. I should chop it off, but that's a me problem. Anyway, I should get back to the story. Her peach skin glowed in the dark, and her freckles were like fireflies in the night. Oh, I remember I loved using fireflies in the night, comparing that to something just because I read it in a book once. She had just woken up from a bad dream. It was not like any other nightmare. No, Rita could feel its significance and how it somehow felt real. All nightmares feel real, sweetheart. She thought to herself that it probably didn't mean anything, though of course it did. No nightmare means nothing. It's not real. Oh my god. It's gonna be like, oh, she saw something. She was seeing the future and it means so much. No, okay, let's just move on. The moment she woke up, she started to have flashbacks of the day before. How she could remember it so strongly, she didn't know. Yesterday was Friday. Thanks for specifying. The last day of the week. Everybody at school, of course, was bursting with excitement to get out. Everybody, of course, wanted to enjoy the 2 wonderful days without school quickly. Everybody except Rita. Oh, okay, we're going with the person left behind protagonist, like the weirdo, the outcast. Okay, that was a popular theme. I support myself on that. I could have phrased it better though. She didn't count down the seconds of the clock. Instead of listening to the teacher, she didn't run out of the school building like most of the people that did. No, she just walked out, kicking small pebbles down the stairs. Sometimes she thought school was entertaining, but she tried to contain her feelings inside so nobody could ever see them or make fun of them. But then it happened. She knew she would never forget it, no matter how much she tried. Okay, so I made a depressing protagonist when I was in the 3rd and 4th grade. I don't know why I decided to come up with a depressing theme. I think I was just reading a lot of um young adult novels that sort of reminded me of, I don't know, it was just a recurring theme. Okay. It was the previous Monday that she felt like it had all burst out. Her sadness, angriness. Is angriness a word? Wait, why do I not know this? It's a word. It's a word. Okay. Pretend I never did that. Let's move back to the story. All her sadness, angriness, and much, much more. All her irritating thoughts and memories she had thought of that horrible day. Her dad losing his jobs. Jobs. Oh, wow, they're rich. Okay. Food being scarce. Oh, no, they're not rich. Scarce. Okay, whatever. But they're not rich. Why did I jump to that conclusion? Why did I write that her dad has jobs? Okay, whatever. And having no friends flooded in her brain, temporarily jamming it. Okay, you can jam your brain. That's nice to know. She had been crying in the girls' bathroom in one of the dorms. Over her tears, she could hear something that around the lines of that huge crybaby from an outsider. That's when it happened. She lost control. Of course, she didn't mean to. That's what she told the others. But to them, only one thing was clear to them. Did I just repeat to them twice? I'm nitpicky about grammar. Why did I let this slide? Well, I guess I was younger, but like still, I was really nitpicky about grammar and those sort of stuff. Okay, it's okay. I can fix it later. I'm acting like I'm ever gonna look at the story again. Anyway, and it remained a fact. Rita Banda had beaten up. Oh, okay. She beat up somebody. Dang. I thought I based this character off myself. Do I want to beat up somebody?
Nothing to be afraid of.
And that's when I punch him, right?
Like, we're gonna move past that fact. That was, oh, had beaten up Amma Samita. Emma's a name? Oh, I was really into name meanings. Just a quick yap such. I was really into name meanings. I would search up random names, what they mean, and then I'd characterize a person in my story to be exactly like their name meaning. I don't know, I thought it was cool, but like, yeah, okay, it's sort of cool, but now it's like a bit nerdish, I feel like. And like, it's a bit too deep. Nobody's searching up a name meaning to understand a character, Alicia. Why'd you do that? Okay, they that was all they saw when they looked at Rita on Friday. Trying to shake off the terrifying memory, she looked out her small window in her brother's bedroom, the blinds closed. Wait, she looked out her. Oh, I read that wrong. Wait, I read that in my mind like she looked out the window and then she saw her and her brother's bedrooms, and I was so confused. I was like, there's no way. I had no sense of direction when I was a younger kid. Oh my god. Let's just continue. Okay. She decided to open the window. She regretted her decision the moment she had opened the blinders. Isn't it blinds, not blinders? Whatever. And pushed up the window. I expect bad grammar for me now. Outside, a huge clap of thunder rang every time the lightning crashed. The wind rolled in, blowing leaves right inside the house and on Rita's head. She could feel the dirt flying in the room, marking even more freckles on Rita's face, this time brown. Rita decided a fake nightmare was better than the real truth. Real truth? The truth is real. Why do I have to specify the real truth? The real thing, Alicia. Ooh, I'm really nitpicky now. Okay. She walked back to her bed, lied down, and her nightmare continued the moment she hit the snooze button. It was about a huge purple cyclops chasing Rita around her house. In her nightmare, the monster used a whip. I knew what a whip was at this age. I don't know. I thought I was more innocent than that. Wait, if I'm coming up with these depressing characters at this age, I guess that is a bit concerning. But we're just gonna slide over that fact. Used a whip every few seconds to make Rita off track. Off track of what? What are you doing, girl? Let's just move on. When he did that, a huge crashing sound could be heard. Oh, I remember why I did the Cyclops thing now. Okay, so basically, we were going over like myths in class, I think, and I recently learned something about. I don't remember the exact story, but I remember there were these two monsters in the up in the clouds that caused thunder and lightning through playing games, like I think jump roping or something. But basically, I think that's why I used a huge purple cyclops. I wanted it to represent the thunder, and then I was thinking of monsters representing thunder just because of that one myth in class. Okay, I see where that came from. That's fine. Okay. Rita again suddenly woke up. She realized the terrifying sound in her nightmare was really thunder in reality. Then suddenly she heard a noise that sounded like ticking. It kept on repeating itself. Rita knew exactly what it was. She turned to the other side of the bed and saw her pink alarm clock ringing out of control. She slammed it so hard that it broke. Oh, Rita is really hard. It's really easy to rage bait. Okay. Rita sighed softly and looked at her brother's part of the room. Her brother's part of the room was super dirty. I based this off my brother's room, by the way. I'm going to say that before I continue. Now I'm going to continue. And you can imagine my brother's room. Thousands of paper airplanes were scattered on the floor, the pile about as tall as the scribbled on door, and Nick's chewed up pencils rolled around in his smelly socks in a dusty, cobwebbed corner. Her brother was sitting on his bed reading a gigantic book. By the way, I did not base Nick off my brother. I'm really insulting my brother right now. Don't worry, my brother is a really sweet and nice individual. It's just he just doesn't like to read. That I understand that. I know people who don't like to read. That doesn't make you less smart. And if you're watching this video, do not feel like you need to read to understand it or anything like that. Why am I going on in like a full motivational speech? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's take that back. All I'm saying is that the character was not based off my brother. Rita was based off me, but the room was based off my brother. Yeah, okay. I feel like I'm yapping. I never yap. It's okay. Yapping is good once in a while. Reading a gigantic book. The bed looked much worse than the floor. There were marker stains all over the faded teddy bear sheet. Oh, maybe I made this worse. Sheet. I'm not crazy, right? That's not how you spell sheet, right? Bed sheet, bed. Sheet. Yeah. Okay, I'm not crazy. That's not how you spell bed sheet. In your face, younger Alicia. Why would you do that? Okay, it's fine. We can let it slide. Can we? Can we let it slide? I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. It had Nick's markers covering it. Didn't I already mention that it had marker stains? And hundreds of her brother's drawings to enjoy them. Oh wow, did I just give Nick the talent of everything? Like, he's smart, he's really, really smart, and then he can draw really nice, and then if I remember, he can sing really nice too. Yeah, I overpowered the side character a lot. Rita could do nothing. Rita was afraid of the dark, which we will get to in a second, but she was afraid of the stupid dark, which I braced off my brother, by the way. Sorry. Wait, I based a lot of things off when I was younger, off my family, like a lot of the stuff I wrote. And I'm really seeing it now. Like, I see my family in this fake thing that I created. Okay, and hundreds of her brother's drawings to enjoy them. Enjoy the markers. The markers are enjoying his drawings. Okay, Rita had to push them onto the floor every night. The only thing that looked nice and clean on his side of the room was his bookshelf. Nick loved books. I think I mentioned this already. Whoops. He never wanted any of his books to end up like his whole entire bedroom, so he kept them as nicely as he could. Awake so early, huh? Nick said to Rita, turning so slightly that she could see him. Nick was an 11-year-old boy. Nick looked like an identical version of his sister, only two differences were that he was a boy. Thanks for clarifying, Alicia. I did not know that Nick was a boy. And his hair was shorter. No, duh. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Of course, Nick is a boy and his hair would be shorter because he's a boy. Like, okay, no offense, but like, is Nick's hair also going like way past his waist? Like, I get that a boy can have long hair, okay? But past his waist, he's only 11 years old. I don't think boy hair can statistically grow that long. As if he knew what his sister would say next and did not want to hear it. You know you're the early bird of this family. Give me a chance too. Chance what? Chance to shine? Chance to fail? Please specify. Rita said roughly, in a bad mood from her flashbacks. Now Rita jumped off her bed and walked over to her brother's side of the room. She sat next to Nick, who was still absorbed in the book. They were quiet for some time. Then Nick broke the ice. Do you sometimes feel inside you that there's more out there, more outside, in more places where people can live? Obviously, people can live in other places other than where you're living. I'm sorry, that was sort of dumb. Nick asked, on Earth? That's a question everybody could answer. Thank you, Rita. That's the one moment you've actually been smart in the entire book, I'm pretty sure. We can live on the whole earth. But maybe since some people can't swim, we can't live in the water? Okay, Rita, I'm gonna send you to Antarctica if I ever rewrite this book. Can't with her sometimes. I'm judging my own character so hard, Rita said. No, I mean beyond Earth. Maybe even outside the Milky Way galaxy. This was supposed to, like, sort of like hint towards the ending in a way. Like, I don't know. It was like that set, like, this question is from where the book started getting a little bit more climatic. So I think that was my attempt at like a nice and steady rise, or like, was it nice and steady? Yeah, it was sort of a little abrupt. Okay, no, I mean beyond Earth. Maybe even beyond, outside the Milky Way galaxy, Nick replied. I think you're reading too much fiction, like Narnia. Okay, referring to Narnia because I was reading that at that age. A portal to another world that we can live in does not exist. And anyway, we can't go inside a rocket and blast out of this galaxy. Rockets are not that fast. Rockets are fast, Rita. It would take us most likely more than a lifetime. Okay, she's right here. I made her a little bit smart. I gave her a few brain cells. I mean, if we do it, then we may be about grandpa and grandma's age, or dead if we reach there. But we can't, so it's impossible until scientists find a way to make a rocket go faster. Rita tried to explain to her brother, her eyes begging her brother to understand. So, Why? Okay, I don't know. I thought Rita wasn't the type to like yap about like facts and stuff like that. I made her not into this stuff, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I went back and edited it, but my first impression of Rita, my first characterization of her was that she was not into this stuff. She didn't know about this stuff. She wasn't into the facts and everything. Okay, let's just continue. What if there is? There must be. Scientists haven't discovered everything yet. So there must be. Thanks for repeating must be, younger me, Nick said, looking up. Nick, you know that if the scientists could not do it, then what is the chance we can? Wait, rewind that. Nick, you know that if scientists could not do it, then what is the chance that we can? That's sentence forming is a bit wonky. Let's just slide over that. Rita said, getting impatient. I'm not saying we can, but but do you imagine it? Nick asked. No, Rita shouted out of control. I do not. Oh, caps. Okay. She was really angry. If I put caps in writing, then it meant that the character was really, really feeling that emotion. Like, I did not use caps lightly. Like, you should see my texting at that age. I did not use caps. I was like such a strict writer. Like, even when it came to texting, it was just like no abbreviations, no LOL or stuff like that. I was so plain. People used to call me the grandma. Anyway, moving on. Oh, Nick replied softly. There was a short pause between them. Been having flashbacks? Asked Nick, whispering it. Oh, Nick guessed it. See? Nice and considerate brother. There was no need to specify. Rita knew what he meant. Yeah, I just can't shake it off. It's the argument inside whether what I did was right or wrong. The good angel part says yes, and the bad devil part says no. Wait, but the question is, what did you do? What What did you do right or wrong? How is that a yes or no question? I needed to refine that maybe. This didn't go through a huge editing stage because as mentioned earlier, it was incomplete. So I guess I see why there were so many mistakes in this. Also, I don't think I was that good of a writer at this age. Okay, let's move on. I can't decide if I should say sorry or not. Rita, obviously you're supposed to say sorry if you punch somebody. What do you mean you're not sure? Like, I understand, like, if you're not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But of course, you have to apologize. Like, what? They said one little comment. People are gonna say that, Rita. It's the real world. It's not the real world, it's the fictional world. But, like, still, what do you mean you're not sure if you should say sorry or not? Did I not give my character, like, a good moral compass? Okay, let's move on. Rita said, lying straight down on her brother's bed. The truth was that Rita actually believed it, but she didn't believed what? Okay, believed what? It's not a yes or no thing, once again. Believed it, but she did not want to tell it to her brother. Not now. Not after what happened at Monday. Another reason was, what if her brother told someone else? Then that person told another person, and so on, until she was the laughing stock of the neighborhood. Maybe this is where my insecurities come from. People would hate her now, even more than they already did. She never would ever want to put herself in that danger. Come on, let's go downstairs. Perhaps we can even have breakfast early, Rita said. What time is it anyway? I haven't checked the time at all. I was reading my book the whole time, Nick asked. Oh, this was so me. During COVID, I used to stay up so late reading books and I would never check the time. I don't know the time either. I thought you did, Rita said. When am I the time checker? Isn't that you? Nick asked. What? Me? Time checker? You know I get distracted easily. I think mom's the time checker, and she's not here, so she must be sleeping. So that means, Rita said, that none of us know the time. Nick continued. Oh, that's dumb. That's such a dumb conversation. What do you mean, like, dot, 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 after, so that means. This isn't like a huge conclusion or anything. You guys don't know the time, so just figure it out. Okay, anyway, exactly. Now come on, smart Alec. Let's go down and check the time, Rita said. Rita and her brother ran down the stairs, which were a chestnut brown with a hint of white. Paintings and pictures hung all around the stairs, and as they ran, Rita could not help to think that it was possible that they might be alive. Oh wow, haunted house. Okay. After they reached downstairs at the kitchen, they stood and they caught their breath. They ran down the stairs. Why do they have to catch their breath? They're also kids. Kids their age shouldn't have to catch their breath after running down the stairs at like a moderate speed to not wake up their parents. I thought I made them athletic too. I guess I didn't. Okay. I really remember a lot of things wrong about the story. It's the amount I remember wrong is concerning. Anyway, it was 6:30 a.m. through though it looked like it might have been midnight outside. Okay, you early person, early person. Maybe early bird would have been better there, younger Alicia. Give me an estimate of how much time you were reading, Rita said angrily in a loud voice. Nick thought for a few minutes, hoping he could lie in some way, though he knew he could not. Okay, I knew. Okay, I was right. My characters do have a moral compass. Nick has a moral compass. Rita, I guess I really made Rita the protagonist, but she was not it. Okay. I was reading for about 2 hours, Nick said quietly, hoping his sister would not hear him, since he knew it was something he had done something wrong. And our conversation was about 30 minutes. Why are you calculating time during conversations, Rita? So you woke up at 4 a.m. Explanation mark. Explanation mark. Explanation mark? I said explanation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Rita exclaimed, clearly hearing him nicely. Mom is gonna be so angry that you slept so little. Yeah, this is because like my parents would get angry if I stayed up late. This is where this came from. Nick gulped. I wonder how mad she'll be, he said, scared not only because of his mom, but because of the way Rita was screaming at him. You better be ready, Rita said. That helped Nick calm down. He just sighed heavily. Sometimes his sister had no feelings for him. Why is the sudden realization that your sister has no feelings for you making you calm down? I feel like that would give me more anxiety. You know what I mean? I would only calm down when I realized that, oh, sweet Rita, my sister, is speaking in a nice, caring tone and clearly understands that it was a mistake that I wasn't aware of. No, what made him calm down was his sister yelling at him. That's sort of weird. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Come on, let's get breakfast ready, Nick said, wanting to change the subject. The storm was definitely getting worse. Furniture started bouncing up and down in excitement. Furniture now can be excited. Even the beds were hopping. Sorry. Sorry. Downstairs, Rita and Nick could hear it too. Their blue bowls of cereals danced around the table like a apple bouncing down the stairs. What sort of comparison is that? On a daily basis in your life, do you ever see an apple bouncing down the stairs? No. I don't know why I compared it to that. That's a really weird comparison. We better get Mom up, Rita said, staring at the bowls, which surprisingly had not fallen down yet. Okay, one thing that I'm surprised about is that I said that even the beds were hopping. So if the beds were hopping and their mom was sleeping on the beds, why is their mom not awake yet? Like, you shouldn't have to get your mom up if like everything's bouncing up in excitement, like so big. I don't know. That's sort of weird. The sooner the better, Nick agreed. The duo ran up the stairs. The lights above them crackled and started a pattern, turning off then on. Soon their light source was gone. Rita ran towards their room, her face expression anxious. What are you doing here? Mom's all the way across the hall, Nick said. Grab her, I have to get a flashlight, Rita replied, trying to stay calm. Here's where her fear in the dark kicks in. What? The flashlights are down in the cabinet downstairs. If you wanted a flashlight, you could have gotten one then. Why are you looking up here? There are none, Nick asked. Valid question. Oh, there's no period. I'll just fix that. Oh, just listen to me, Rita snapped, clearly agitated. Okay. Nick regretfully turned his back to the room and ran down the hall to wake up their mom. Wait, I thought they were running up the stairs to wake up their mom. Yeah, they were. See? The duo ran up the stairs. And now Nick is. Oh, thought that said ran down the stairs. He's running down the hall. It's the second time I thought younger me had no sense of direction. Okay, down the hall to wake up their mom. Rita was really actually scared of the dark. She had extra flashlights hidden all over the house. Oh dang, that's like a new level of fear. In case in case the lights went off, using all her allowance on them. Sorry, I would never use my allowance on flashlights. And like multiple of them too. Two of them were right under her bed, and another five were hidden under her brother's bed. She took hold of a flashlight under her brother's bed and turned it on. She held onto it with a tight grip, scared if she dropped them, the delicate flashlights would break like china. Okay, nice comparison. Better than the other ones. Meanwhile, Nick had to run all the way to the end of the hall. That's such a long distance. Okay, where his mom was sleeping soundly like the thunder and lightning were a sweet and soft lullaby, drifting her off into a deep slumber. Nick woke her up in a jerk. Yeah, Nick, you're a jerk for doing that. She was about to scold him, and when she heard a big clasp. Wait, when she heard a big clasp, comma. Oh, even my punctuation's bad now. Nick's mom forgot all about the anger inside her that her son had jerked her up from, which felt like the best sleep ever. I used jerk. Okay, that's fine. That could have been worded better. That was really wonky wording. Even for younger me. She sat up, alert immediately. She stared at her bedroom. Everything seemed fine, except for the fact that everything was bouncing. Yeah, it's normal for everything to be bouncing. Everything is fine if your house furniture is just bouncing up and down because it's excited. Where's Rita? She asked. First question is, where's Rita? Not why is furniture bouncing, or like observing that there's a storm and saying, let's get out of here. She's in our bedroom looking for flashlights, Nick replied. Flashlights? Oh, wait, period. Flashlights in your bedroom. And anyway, why do you need flashlights? Have some bad things happen while I was asleep? Mom asked, sounding not too happy. Yes, something bad happened when you were asleep. Or something at least happened. I give Mom, by the way, zero common sense. I remember this. I gave her like manners, yes, but I gave her zero common sense, I'm pretty sure. I have been wrong about a few things in this book so far about characterization, though, so do not trust my word for it, and let's just read the rest of the book and we'll see what's going on. She definitely had lots of questions bubbling in her mind, and she was getting irritated, just like Rita, like mother, like daughter. But Nick was afraid the lightning would strike their house very soon. Nick paused. Come on, Mom. Lightning may strike our house in a few seconds, and we will all probably die just because you want questions answered. If I were you, I would be trying to save all our lives. Dang, Nick. You're questioning your own mother, and you're like reprimanding her. I would never have the guts to do that to my mother. At first, Miss Banda was confused and baffled with the rude tone her son had used. Confused and baffled, I would just be angry. She was about to scold him. Then, after a huge blast of lightning, her answers were given and her fears were confirmed. She looked shocked and dazed, but she knew she had to act brave and act positive. We did not need the and act. It was just act brave and positive. She did not want her kids to think that they were going to die today, even though in her gut she knew that was what was probably going to happen. Dang, that's really negative. Was it really that bad of a lightning storm? I feel like, yes, there's lightning, but like that doesn't mean you're gonna die, right? Isn't being in a house safer anyways? I'll search that later. Go and wake up your dad, and I'll check on your sister, Mom said firmly. Let's capitalize Mom while we're at it. Let's just do it. Oh, great. See if Rita found some flashlights. I've been wondering how she'll find flashlights when she can't see, Nick said. Mom ran down the hallway and down the stairs, searching for Rita. Finally, near a candle, she spotted Rita, waiting patiently for her. Rita, what are you doing here? She asked. She was confused about how calm her daughter was trying to be, but she could sense how tired and scared she was inside. She tried to make her daughter feel better. Waiting for you, near light so you can see me. Rita lied about the reason why she needed a light, clearly not wanting to tell her mother her fear of the dark. Yeah, nobody here is aware of it. They're all idiots, blind idiots, because she's like crazy terrified. He's hiding flashlights all around the house. Mom should know. But you have flashlights in your hand. What is the point of having a candle when you already have two flashlights? Her mom asked. Just so I can conserve energy in the batteries of the flashlights. Help, this makes no sense. If the flashlights are on, you aren't conserving any energy. You're wasting the energy and the flashlights, and you're having a candle lit. Makes no sense. Okay, Rita lied. Okay, but where did you find the flashlights? Nick said you were looking in your room when the flashlights were all down here, her mom asked. Sorry, this is a lightning storm, and her mom is questioning about where she found the flashlights. Your child found flashlights. At least she found them. Why are you questioning this? Life or death situation? Her mom asked. Oh, I realized it was kind of stupid of me. I came down here afterwards and found the flashlights in the cabinet, Rita lied again. Rita loves lying. No moral compass. I gave Nick all the moral compass and there was none to share with Rita. Sorry. Horrible protagonist. Oh, well, your brother is waking up your father, and this is a very serious situation. A tornado's chances of coming up right here next to her house or lightning striking on her house is very high. Okay, where did a tornado come from? I feel like that was sort of random. Did she check her phone and look through the news like while she was running down the stairs to find Rita? Cuz I didn't mention anything about a tornado. Only about lightning, only about thunder. Sudden conclusion that a tornado is going to be there too. Here she is, jumping to conclusions. And yeah, like mother, like daughter. Right now, we may need to evacuate. It's better to stay inside, I swear to God. Okay, I'm searching this up. Ignore how I added all those slashes. Yeah, exactly. Why are they leaving their nice and sturdy building to go outside? Why did I write that? I wanted them to die, but like it's safer inside. I feel like mom would know that. Mom has a brain, right? I guess the mom in this book doesn't have a brain. Okay, so I want you to pack your very important belongings just in case, her mom said very seriously. Okay, sighed Rita. She was hoping she could stay near the light. It's a storm! Your life! Listen to your mom. Also, don't listen to your mom at the same time because, like, she's leading you to your death, probably. Which was so warm that it felt like she was snuggled up in a blanket on her bed. Couldn't she technically be snuggled up in a blanket in her bed? If she wanted to be warm, why didn't she just head towards her bed? Is she not on her bed right now? I thought we were in their room. No, wait, no, their room is upstairs. She went downstairs for some reason. That's sort of weird. Why did she go back downstairs? I don't know. Okay, the flashlights were like love shown to her. I'm sorry, that's so funny. The flashlights were like love shown to her. True love is a flashlight. She should marry the flashlight. Okay, so sweet that she could not let go of them. Rita finally got up, desperate for more work, but still listened to her mother. Nick had run all the way to the back, down the hallway. I read that so wrong, but we're gonna slide over that. To wake up his dad. He thought that he would have never have to worry about marathons that he participated in ever again if he can handle this. Oh, I made him a runner too. I really made Nick really perfect. See, about the marathons that he had participated in. That means he has participated in marathons. Dang. I made him like the best protagonist, but I sidelined him. Okay. Soon he got really hot. Oh, maybe not. I feel like a marathon runner would not sweat or like like break a sweat just sprinting down the hallway. I feel like that's a really short distance. You're a marathon runner. Like if you're a sprinter, no, even if you're a sprinter, like endurance is a key part of running. I should know this. I run. So I don't know why I did that. Maybe I was just because I had no social setting. I forgot how to run during COVID. Who knows? Okay, soon he got really hot. He took off his Gap sweater. Underneath it, thanks for specifying what he was wearing, Alicia. He was wearing a red and white checkered t-shirt. This is not significant to the plot whatsoever. I just really love describing characters. Finally, he reached his father's room. Same as his mom, his father was in a deep sleep. Nick carefully walked across the room and gently woke up his father. He had learned a lesson from his mother. Dang, what are you implying? Exactly when Nick had woken up his father, lightning struck next to their house. Nick could feel himself almost being burnt to a crisp and the roaring of the strike echoing around the room, just like the floor beneath them was about to shatter. His father also woke up with a charm. With a charm? Like, flirtatious charm? I'm sorry, but that's my first thought when I think of with a charm. Like, he was just charming, naturally charming. I made the father pretty charismatic, I guess, but like, okay. He charged downstairs faster than Nick had ever known he could run. Nick managed to channel his energy. You should, you're a marathon runner, Nick, following him downstairs. So this leads us to chapter 2. Let's format that correctly. But it's already been like 30 minutes. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this video. Okay, so the main reason that I did not finish going over my entire book is because I don't want to bore you guys, and this video is already like 40 minutes because I apparently do yap that much. I just didn't realize it until today. So I will be creating a part 2, 3, and 4 with all the different chapters. And I really do hope you guys enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe. And hope you have a nice day. Alicia out.